My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, welcome back. Today, zooming in from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, we've got a real estate entrepreneur and a capital raiser and a connector, Sophie Elaine. She is the networking queen. And I don't know if you're kind of like me and you're kind of clumsy when it comes to networking, if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel a little bit of shy, if you're that person that's kind of hanging around the bar with a drink in your hand, wondering who to talk to, then listen in because we're going to get some great tips on networking from Sophie Elaine. Sophie, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here.
Hey, so Sophie, as we're having this conversation, it's like mid-October 2024. Tell me a little bit, paint us a picture of how you're involved in real estate these days, because you're doing some work with land and land type investments, but you're also on the capital raising side of things. So what does your week or what does your month as a real estate investor kind of look like these days?
Yes, so Dave, I spent a lot of time on the phone actually. That's kind of my full-time job. Well, it's like 16 hours a day. Usually I'm
Oh
on the
God.
phone. So
That's called overtime there, lady. I tell you what.
yeah, you leave the 9 to 5 to work more like 12, 16 hours a day. But yeah, so just spend a lot of time on the phone, do a lot of networking. And I just kind of fell into the connecting slash capital raising. I do have a partner. We fund a lot of fix and flips for a lot of folks. We do some second liens. I work with a couple different funds and family offices, always looking to add more capital partners to my repertoire. But yeah, the average week is I just spend a lot of time on the phone talking to my clients that need money and then connecting them with my investors who have the money.
All right. Well, that is fascinating. So you're very, very comfortable on the phone, obviously. Did you, just out of curiosity, did you kind of come from that background or is this a newer thing for you?
I didn't come from that background. I'm actually a pastry chef by trade, so I did that for 14 years. Was invited on Food Network, did all of those crazy cakes that you
Yeah.
saw like Cake Boss do. So that's kind of my background, small business owner. But then I just kind of woke up one day and decided I wanted to get into real estate investing, didn't know what that looked like. And just kind of made that happen. Got a mentor, a well-known mentor that is was into syndication and all that stuff. That was a little bit over my head, but a couple years later, I've just kind of fallen into my own and developed, what I love doing, which is basically helping people and connecting the money.
Making those connections,
Yeah.
connecting the money. I like that. Okay. So like to hear that this just isn't something that you've been doing for a gazillion years, that you kind of had to figure it out and it's a relatively recent thing. So you got two sides to the equation, Sophie. You've got the guys and gals looking for the funding, so the flippers and
Yep.
whatnot. And then you've got the private money lenders looking to lend out their money. Let's start with the private money lenders. What have you done and what do you find most effective to find these people in the first place?
I think it really is just a lot of relationships. So I really have been pushing my social media presence on Facebook. I think with Facebook, I have Facebook nailed. I do some stuff on LinkedIn, but not as much. So I'm looking to get more on LinkedIn. But honestly, it's just looking to help people was my initial goal, and then it just kind of happened. Like everyone's like, hey, do you happen to know a private money lender? Do you happen to know somebody with the money? And then the investors happen to know me just from social media, and they're like, hey, I have X amount of dollars to invest. What do you suggest that I invest it in? And my inbox is full of individuals that are, they just have like 50,000, 100,000, or even 5,000. And they're like, how, like, where do you suggest that I put this amount of money
Well,
for the best rate of
I'm
return?
curious as to how you got it to that point in the first place, Sophie. So you say you've got Facebook pretty dialed in. What does that mean? So what are you posting on Facebook? How are you generating these kind of leads and this kind of interest?
Sure. So it's just kind of more mainly the feeds full of business, motivational, trying to help people, guidance, that sort of thing. And then I'll
Or
post some
kind of
personal
inspirational type stuff? Yeah.
inspirational type
Yeah.
stuff. Hey, I got this client looking for this, or I'll just volunteer different resources that I've found that work for me. Like, you need your credit fixed, call this guy, or you need a CPA. Because I mean, I'm a real estate investor myself, so I own my own rental properties. And initially in the beginning, it was hard for me to know who to call to trust, because there's a lot of snakes in this industry. So I, have been through my own round of contractors not showing up. So it initially started with that. So now it's just trying to share my resources, my experience with others so that they don't make those same mistakes.
Cool. So you're inspiring people, you're sharing stories, you're sharing the not so good stuff, you're sharing resources, good good contractors, good people that you've worked with, good whatever resources that provide value. So how does that kind of turn into people saying, "Hey Sophie, I've got 50 grand, where should I put it?" Like there's a lot of steps in between there.
Yeah, I don't really know. I just kind of fell into it. Like, I've spent I used to call like 100 banks just getting terms and rates for my own rental property. So that kind of gave me the experience to talk to lenders and investors. But and I to be honest, I don't even know how I fell into that. It just started happening. And I've just been doing it now for a couple months, and it's working for me. So I see myself kind of building out more of the connector type business, whether that's maybe have a full on website, like you're looking for X amount of dollars. I had a client last week or 2 weeks ago, they needed like 7 million for a land purchase, and I was able to connect that money just based off of my resources that I have.
Well, that would be very attractive for those investors, those principals and those active real estate investors looking for capital. Yeah, that's definitely a skill that they're looking for. Very, very cool. All right. So yeah, I wouldn't imagine it's that tough to find the people looking for the money, the people looking to invest the money. So you say you're spending a lot of hours every day on the phone. So who are you typically calling during the day?
Typically it'll be CPAs, wealth planners, any PMLs, anybody who has business owners that are exiting their business. I'm also in small business acquisitions, so I kind of am in that part of it as well. So business owners that are exiting their business, a lot of time they have capital sitting there that they need to reinvest, or they don't know what they're going to reinvest their money into.
So are you kind of calling these folks cold? Are you finding lists of
Um,
these people and calling them a
Cool.
cold, or
Some cold calling. Sometimes we've had pre-existing relationships that I'm just constantly following up on to, refresh the relationship. I have one of my dispo managers actually makes calls to our buyers list, and a lot of people on our buyers list for the land business, they actually are lenders or they have money to invest as well.
yeah, so you're squeezing all the juice out of the orange, basically. It's like
Exactly.
anybody that touches with you, you're calling up to see if they're looking for a deal or looking to if, or interested in providing financing for a deal.
Yeah, but it mainly is the first question that I'm asking them is, what do you do? What is it that you do? What do you do? And what do you need? And how can I help? And then I let them know, hey, I'm in lending, like there may be a and then I do connecting work. Is there may be a resource that you need to like grow your business, or business cap, like whatever the case may be. So I'm not coming off as, okay, I'm coming at you for the money. I'm coming at you, oh, let's build a relationship and help. And then we kind kind of nurture that relationship. They, follow me on Facebook, we become friends, just kind of continue that relationship. And then it turns into, hey, I got this amount of money to invest. It's not that I'm reaching out to them, oh, like, I need you to invest in this.
Yeah.
I'm coming from a more of a safe place. How can
Oh,
I help you?
serving first.
Yes.
Serving first. Yeah. Leading with the giving hand.
Yes.
Very, very smart. So, Sophie, with what you've learned over the last however long it's been, months or a couple of years or whatever it's been that you're actively doing this, if you were giving advice to somebody who's kind of new to this whole idea, this approach of making connections and raising capital, what tips would you have for somebody just getting started out?
I think it really is about trying to solve a problem. When I first got into real estate investing, it was all about how do you solve others' problems.
Yeah,
So I would identify different local investors, like the one local investor. He ran a Facebook group for real estate investing, and I noticed that he needed some help, monitoring his group. So I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, I'm happy to help you monitor your group. So it's just identifying the problem that people are having, and then which I was able to identify later on. I realized everybody needs money. So if I
yeah,
can solve the money problem for people, that kind of puts me in different rooms that I necessarily wouldn't be able to get into if I wasn't involved with, these lenders, these funds, these individuals that have capital. And the thing is, as soon as, like, people find out that you have connections to the capital, you're automatically their friend or that in person. Like,
yeah.
they treat
You're the belle of the ball, aren't
they
you?
treat you differently than just, oh, hey, by the way, I need money.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very smart. So, Sophie, where do you see things going for you and your real estate endeavors and your capital raising endeavors over the next 6 to 12 months?
So I just created like an M&A firm. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's a business mergers and acquisitions firm with three other powerful ladies. So I'm actually the capital partner slash SBA funding side of that. So I definitely see myself in probably 6 months to a year building out that side of the business. I have a bunch of different conferences involving private money conferences, family office conferences. I kind of see myself traveling a little bit more. I would like to get back down into Miami, because that's been a great place for me to raise capital. So just really like expanding my resources and being able to help a lot more people with their capital problems.
Very cool. Awesome, Sophie. Well, this has been valuable. I appreciate your insights and your whole approach to thing. I love the idea that you lead with the giving hand, looking at how you can provide value first, and it's not a quick grab situation. It's a
Correct.
nurture kind of a process. Very, very smart. Hey, Sophie, if people are watching this saying, "Hey, I'd like to connect with Sophie," what's the best way for them to do that?
Sure. Probably the best way to connect with me is through Facebook. I'm pretty active on there. My name is Sophie Elaine on Facebook. And I can provide my email then as well, but mainly just, I mean, I'm super active on Facebook, and you're usually looking at, a 10 to 15-minute response for me if you connect with me on there.
There you go, Sophie Elaine on Facebook. Sophie, thanks very much for being on the call. This has been fun.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.